Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. I want to take a quick second and say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to anybody who comes in, who checks out my knife and EDC content, subscribes to the channel. I really appreciate you. And just anyone who comes in and checks out my knife and EDC content, thank you. Today I'm going to do a kind of a fixed blade feature on a Throwback Thursday video. This knife is one of the earlier USA made fixed blades that I picked up. It is a small little knife. It's an LT Wright Frontier First in Magnacut. I picked this knife up at I think it was DLT Trading Company, possibly River's Edge Cutlery. I'll try to find the link and put it in the description. These knives drop at whichever of these retailers. They get them quite often from time to time, and basically what they get in is what they take pictures of and what they're able to sell. I think they're small batch production. And the Frontier First, my understanding is kind of like their little smaller guy, kind of like the Bark River, the Bark River Micro Canadian, if I'm not mistaken, is Bark River's smallest guy. But this knife is unique on many different levels, and some of the ones that I wanted to speak on is, I don't know if you can see this, not scarring, but just this dark on the spine. This spine is so sharp. It is so acute. Just a nice flat spine that is a ferro rod striking machine. I mean, you've got a very sharp angle there that makes striking a ferro rod absolutely easy. You've got the little LT Wright logo on the blade, and then you've got the M, which is how they designate their blade steels. This is Magnacut. You've got a Micarta handle, and it has no additional liner. So when these little guys come in, the reason I purchased this knife is because of the value I thought it was providing me. And I'll tell you why. Because again, I was new into fixed blades, EDC fixed blades. I didn't own a lot of Magnacut at the time. This little knife shipped with a very well-made leather sheath that works both as a belt dropper, because it's such a small little knife in the sheath. It also works without a belt, just dropping it in your back pocket. That's how I carry it most of the time. Or I'll carry it on my belt, because like I say, it's not one of those that's like carrying a big knife on your belt, because it's just a little guy. The handles are nice and contoured and thick, so it feels extremely comfortable in the hand. I picture this as a great little foraging knife, a little game knife, and a little EDC knife. Anything that I would use a folding knife for, whether it be opening Amazon packages, whether it be cutting rope, cutting down cardboard, you name it. This little knife is full tang, well made, USA made, and wait for it, was $92 when I bought it. So it was under $100 for LT Wright's, what I think is their smallest fixed blade, in Magnacut. I have not sharpened this knife. This is the factory edge, and it's not a thin stock. It's a pretty, beefy little knife, but I mean, it is a therapeutic slicer in every sense of the word. Just a great little flat ground, nice blade geometry, but nothing crazy in terms of stock, but just the way it cuts. It has a great edge. I can't wait until it needs to be sharpened, and I can sharpen it because I feel like it's heat treated very well. I love the belt satin. Well, not the belt satin, it's probably hand satin. You've got a brass lanyard tube there for people because it does have a small handle, as we'll see when we measure it. So if you had a small little snake knot coming out that kind of gave you a little pigtail to hang on to, that would probably be helpful. But for me, not at all. I can get a full 3-finger grip on it. 4 fingers, it's full. My 4th finger is not coming past. But if you had a bigger hand, you're probably only going to get 3 fingers on this knife. No pronounced sharpening choil, so it just has kind of like the Spyderco sharpening where it comes straight back to the plunge grind there. Don't have a problem with it. If it became a problem sharpening it, I could always cut in a little choil. The scales are even. It just seems to be done very well. In Magnacut for, like I say, a very good price. And what you'll notice about these knives, kind of like the Bark River knives, is they might have 20 of these, 20 pictures of different Frontier First when they do the drop, and some of them might have a G10 liner. It might be $10 more. Some of them might have nicer handles. You know, so the price will vary, but not a whole lot. I thought this was a fantastic value for what I consider to be a small, which is my jam, EDC fixed blade, that just a simple drop point, simple knife design that works exceptionally well. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons. And let's look at it from, just to give you guys some ideas. First thing we'll look at it next to is a Sharpie. Because I think this little guy is going to be within the range of the Sharpie. You know, it might be about a 1/4 inch smaller than the Sharpie. So our Benchmade bug out is going to be much bigger than the Frontier First. Our mini bug out is going to be much bigger than the Frontier First. So your bug out and your mini bug out are both bigger because it's a little guy. So to look at a couple of fixed blades that I consider small EDC fixed blades, but on the more medium size, this is the Bradford Guardian. Trying to give you guys some knives that you might have a size comparison of in your mind, and we'll get some measurements. The other is the Griffin Co. Scout. Both of these I consider small, medium-sized knives, but it shows you that the Frontier First is truly a little guy. The other knife I've got over here that we'll compare it to real quickly before we measure it is our Bark River Micro Canadian. So it's going to be about, what's that, a 1/2 inch longer than the Micro Canadian, but it's got thicker handles. And what I was saying is this little Micro Canadian, when these dropped, there were a whole bunch, but this is example of what an additional G10 liner looks like, and it adds a few dollars to the price. This is kind of the basic Frontier First, and I like it that way. I mean, it's a perfect little EDC fixed blade that will get the job done. Right at 5.5 inches. So it's a little 5.5 inch knife. My chickadees are 5 inches, so it's about a 1/2 inch longer than the chickadee. The blade is going to be 2 3/4 inches long with a cutting edge of 2.5 inches. Your inside grip from about the center, I'm just going to go from the back of the, you've got 3 inches from right here to right here. So that is 3 inches, and then 2 3/4, and then you've got your 2.5 inch cutting area. Our blade stock is 0.1245, and our handle is a nice robust 0.6640. Behind the edge, I'm never good at getting this measurement, guys, so I don't even know why I try. You saw how nice it sliced. Whoops, I just slipped off the edge. That's the top of the bevel, 0.0260. And again, like I say, I need to see Jared or somebody at Blade Show next year and get them to actually show me what I am, where I need to grab that. I think it's at the top of the edge bevel, but to be honest with you, I'm just not sure. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching in my bug out bag over here, and I'm trying to find this little ferro rod here. So this is a little Exotech ferro rod, and this is the sharp spine I was talking about. So we'll, whoops, make sure I didn't say anything on fire, but you can see it is very much a striker. Does a fantastic job. I think would make a great little bushcrafting, little camp knife for that exact reason, because it is so good when it comes to striking. And you can see there, that's why I've got some black on that spine of that knife, because I do think that's a great feature and I love using it for that. Started several fires with this little knife. It's a great little hiking companion, great camping companion, again because it's so small, doesn't take up any room. Guys, I think it's a fantastic knife. They're still around. I've had this little guy for well over a year. I love it. It's held up great. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. LT Wright, I think, does a great job, and I think they offer their knives at a very good value, in my opinion. So, this is the LT Wright Frontier First. I'm Javon. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I ask you a couple things when you leave here. If you're still here, please hit the up or thumbs up, thumbs down button, depending on what you think of the video. And if you'll please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it really does help the channel out. But most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for one another. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.